Good morning, everyone. According to my clock, it is 10 o'clock, so I'll go ahead and get started. I know some people are still signing on, but we'll go ahead and get started with our webinar about the 2021 Good Giving Challenge registration process. My name is Lauren Parsons. I am Director of Strategic Initiatives and Communications at Bluegrass Community Foundation, and that means that I am our team member that gets to head up the Good Giving Challenge, which is probably my favorite initiative and the most fun time of year. So I know you all are ready to get started, and I am too. I will allot some time for Q&A at the end of the webinar, so you can submit any questions you have using that Q&A function of the Zoom meeting. Just a little bit about Bluegrass Community Foundation. For those of you who might not be familiar with us, our mission is to build vibrant, generous, and engaged communities in Central and Appalachia, Kentucky, and we do that through encouraging charitable giving. I like to say that people don't give to us, they give through us. So that means that they give money to their fund, and then we send that money out to nonprofit organizations really across the country and around the world. We've awarded 120 plus million in grants since 1967, and we last fiscal year we awarded 17 plus million. It was our biggest grant making year, and we're on record to make FY 2021 another record breaking year thanks to the generosity of our community. One of the ways that we do we focus on building charitable giving in the community is through the Good Giving Challenge. We like to say that everybody can be a philanthropist, and so we encourage that during the challenge. It's been going on since 2011, and basically it's a week-long online giving challenge. It used to be, I think, a month or two, and now we fine-tuned it to just be a week-long, which we think is the perfect amount of time to build some momentum, build awareness, but also not make our nonprofits and us too tired with the process. So everybody can give during the challenge. The minimum gift size is just $10, so it's really accessible to everyone. And it launches every year on Giving Tuesday, the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. Just some stats from last year's Good Giving Challenge. It was our biggest year on record. We raised $2.39 million last year for 126 nonprofits, I believe. The average raise per nonprofit was $18,858. The average gift size was $175. And the statistic was that 1/3 of donors who gave, they were giving to a new nonprofit for the first time. So it's a really good way to introduce generous people to new nonprofits, and it's a really great exposure for your organization. So the 10-year total of fundraising is just over 14 million. So the challenge this year will start on Tuesday, November 30th at 9 a.m. and will run through Monday, December 6th at 11:59 p.m. And why participate? Why should your organization sign on for this initiative? There's sort of three main benefits. One, there's a seamless experience for donors. You gain support and promotion during the challenge, and there are lots of matches and prizes to incentivize giving. So I'll expand on all of these points. For the donor experience, I like to say that it's as easy as online shopping. You can give to 100 plus organizations all on one giving site. They get an immediate tax receipt from BGCF. They get to be part of the collective impact, the collective spirit that goes on during that week. And their gifts, even if it was a $10 gift, with matching and other incentives, that could be a $20 gift. So it really boosts the power of their giving. And how the website works, it's you browse the, you could actually see it the profiles from last year are still available to view on bggives.org, so you can see how that looks. And then during the challenge, they can add gifts to multiple organizations and check out all at once. So it's really easy. You know, they could give to 1 or 10, however many they want to all at one time. So it's very easy for donors. Support and promotion from BGCF and Smiley Pete includes you'll get training and best practices to engage your staff, your board, and your donors. We do multiple webinars after the registration process concludes to train you and your board and donors to maximize and really take advantage of all the features of the challenge. Like I said a second ago, there will be 100+ organizations leading donors all to one website. So you gain a lot of exposure through that. And we promote, I like to say that we promote the challenge and you promote your organization. So we do a lot of advertising and marketing and publications promoting the challenge leading up to the event and during the event. That includes media appearances, radio appearances. We have a podcast that we use. We do boosted social media campaigns to really drive a lot of traffic to the website during that campaign. Your registration fee also covers the GoodGiving Challenge print guide, which is a magazine included in Smiley Pete Publications, which is the Business Lexington, the Chevy Chaser, and the Southsider, which goes to like 30,000 plus homes and businesses in the area. And a lot of people we have heard actually keep that publication year round to find out more about different nonprofits in the area and decide who they would like to make gifts to year round. So it's really like a perennial publication that has good lasting power. And each organization that is in the GoodGiving Challenge has a profile in that publication. So that's a really good advertising opportunity for you as well. And like I said, we do social media campaigns leading up to the event and during the event. So there's a lot of exposure for your organizations during that time. And then the fun part is the matches and prizes. This year so far, we have over 500,000 up for grabs and matches and prizes. We are still working on our sponsors and all these opportunities, working to make this the biggest and best yet. So I don't have the final details on all of the matches and prizes available, but those will be announced probably early September after registration concludes. There will be daily matching challenge opportunities. So there will be chances every day for your donors to have their gifts boosted by matches and prizes. There will be power hours, and then BGCF always hosts daily social media sweepstakes. Those are always a lot of fun. And they, how we've done that in the past is we've given away like a $250 giving card, which basically just goes to your organization during the GoodGiving Challenge. So there are a lot of fun ways to amplify those gifts that you get during the challenge. So the big question is, who can participate? So organizations must be an IRS approved 501c3 public charity. Organizations must be located in our service area, which includes Anderson, Bourbon, Boyle, Clark, Fayette, Franklin, Harrison, Jessamine, Madison, Magoffin, Montgomery, Morgan, Rowan, Scott, or Woodford counties. You must have a GuideStar Silver Seal of Transparency, and you must pay the $500 registration fee. And we require all of these things because we assure the donors during the challenge that their gifts will be tax deductible and that they are going to vetted organizations. So that's just one way that we ensure that for the donors. The challenge giving platform is provided by Neon One, and it is accessible at bggives.org. And how donations work during the GoodGiving Challenge. All donations must be made on bggives.org through the site to be eligible to be matched by matches and prizes and to count toward your giving total. during the event. They must be made by credit card, ACH, like electronic check, or using a BGCF donor advised fund. The gifts are 100% tax deductible, and to ensure that they are 100% tax deductible, we do ask that you do not provide a quid pro quo to incentivize your donors. So that means you can't promote, if you give at a certain level, then we'll send you like a free water bottle or a bumper sticker or whatever. You could probably do that as a thank you gift after the fact, but you cannot condition their gift on receipt of those perks. And the minimum donation is just $10. And we like to say that there's no maximum gift during the challenge. People can give as much as they would like to or can. There are fees assessed on those gifts that come through the site. All gifts are increased by 5.1%. For credit cards, gifts, that is 2.1% goes to a processing fee, like Stripe or those credit card processors. And then there's the 3% technology fee. For electronic checks, there's just the 3% technology fee, and there's no fee for donor advised fund gifts. And just so you know that none of these fees go to BGCF or Smiley Pete, and we don't profit off of the challenge at all. The nice thing is the fees can be covered by donors, and actually 80% of fees are covered by donors. So like I said, all gifts are increased by 5.1%. The difference is for ACH gifts, the 2.1% that would be otherwise a credit card fee, that additional amount goes towards the nonprofit. All donations are tax deductible. The donors get a tax receipt immediately via email. On their statements for their credit card, it will say that the donation was to Bluegrass Community Foundation. And how that works is at the conclusion of the challenge, we have to wait a couple weeks for credit card gifts to clear. But after all those transactions are final, we basically send you a check for the amount of your donations, less fees, plus the matching dollars and prizes that you received during the week. And when you will log on to bggives.org, and I will go into more of that later, but you'll be able to see all of your donor info, unless they're anonymous. Then you would just see an amount and not donor information. So you will be able to send them thank you notes and add those contacts to your own databases. So you'll have access to all that information. As far as expectations from us, you can expect support, toolkits and trainings. I send frequent emails with news and announcements. So we just ask that you please read those emails. There's a lot of good information in there. You get access to that really easy to use giving portal at bggives.org, and you receive promotion of the challenge, and again, the matches and prizes, which just boosts your donors' gifts to your organization. And from you, we expect you, if you decide to register for the challenge, to read your emails, build a strategy based on those toolkits and trainings that we provide to you. We expect you to use social media. During that week, we'll have different hashtags that we use on all our platforms that we love to share your posts and amplify all your posts on social media as well. So it's a really fun atmosphere during that week. We expect you to involve your board. We have heard from nonprofits that have engaged their board and just had really great success during the challenge, getting them involved. We expect you to promote your donation page on bggives.org. That's your profile. We expect you to get creative and mostly have fun. It is a really, really fun week. It's a lot of work, but it's fun. So how to register. So if you go to bggives.org right now, it is not in that registration mode yet, so you won't be able to see all this. If you have participated in the past, you will still be able to log into your profile and see information from last year, years before, but you won't be able to start the registration process yet. That mode of the site doesn't kick in until next week, July 1. So you won't be able to see all this yet. And once that mode does kick in, I will go in and record a little tutorial so you can see how that process works. And I will share that with all of you at that time. So right now I'm just sharing sort of screenshots of how that registration process goes. And it is the same as it was last year for all those returning organizations. So next Thursday, July 1st, you will be able to go to bggifts.org and click on the login button in the upper right corner. So you will log in. If you are returning, you will use your profile, same email login that you have before. If you cannot remember your password, you can reset that using the Reset My Password button. It's really easy to do, or you can access help through CivicCorps. BGCF staff does not retain or have access to any of your login data. So if you cannot remember your password and if you try to call us, we won't be able to help you. Unfortunately, we'll just have to refer you to Neon One. So it's a really easy process to reset that password. So you'll just do that all through the site. So you'll log in. If you're, like I said, if you're returning, use your previous email. And if you're new, it'll walk you through that step of creating a profile. So there's basically 3 steps to registration. So the first step, you'll see that 3-step registration progress bar at the top after you log in. Step 1, just update your profile. That's where you'll enter your organization's information, contact info. You'll want to populate as much of that information as you can. And you can do a little bit now, and you can always go back in. I say now, July 1. And then you can always go in later and beef up that profile, add, your social media accounts, your website, your phone number. You can add lots of photos and videos, really make it like multimedia. There's really a lot of options for really making your profile all it can be. And we'll offer more training on that after the registration process closes. So step 1 is just updating your profile. Add your logo, customize your giving profile URL. And then after you submit all that information, you'll see a button that says register and await eligibility decision. You will want to click on that. And then what that does is that sends all of your data to us. I'll get a notification that you have submitted your information and you are awaiting a decision. So then what happens next is our staff will look at all your information that you've submitted. We will make sure that everything's complete. We will make sure that you are located in our service area, and we will look at your GuideStar.org information and ensure that you have that silver seal of transparency. So after we double check all that, then we will approve your eligibility. And you will get a notification email from us when that is complete. And it might take a day or two, depending on the amount of registrations that come in at once. So just be patient. We are a small staff, and I know that you'll be eager to get this done, but we'll do that as soon as we can. Like I said, you'll receive a confirmation email when your eligibility is approved. Then you will log back in to continue the registration process. That will take you to step 2, which is paying your fee. So you will just review all your profile information again, and then at the bottom, it will say submit and pay fee. You want to click on that. So then it will take you to step 2. It will populate all that information of the registration fee amount of $500. So your organization can pay by credit card. You can pay with electronic check, or if you need to send in a paper check, that's fine too. So after you fill in that basic billing info, There's 3 options here at the bottom of the screen. You can see pay fee and submit registration, and pay fee externally and submit registration. I can't think of why you would just pay the fee and wait. I can't really imagine why you would want to do that. I would assume you would want to go ahead and pay your fee and submit your registration. And if you are paying by a paper check, you would pay fee externally and submit registration. That means, so we'll get the notification that you are submitting your registration, but it won't be 100% complete until we get that check in the mail. So then I'll have to go in on the back end and acknowledge that that paper check has been received. And you would just send that to our address in Lexington. So the registration fee must be paid by August 15th to complete your registration. So then step 3 is just filling in your event goals. And these can be changed at any time. And these are not public facing. So you don't have to worry about, these are just for your own use. And I think for Neon One's use as well, they just like to sort of gauge your success during the challenge. So you would just set your different fundraising goals, goals about how many peer-to-peer pages you would like to have. And these are, again, there'll be more trainings on all of this afterwards, after we get everybody registered. But those are those pages that your board members or your biggest fans can create. They get their own little fundraising page that they can customize. We have people who, maybe you have a board member whose birthday is in December. And so, theirs could be like, for their birthday campaign, they're asking their friends to donate to their peer-to-peer fundraising page during the challenge. And they would have their own special URL that they could share on social media or an email or whatever. And all of those are tracked on your, you would see all those, you would approve all those, and all that information would be accessible once you log in and see your profile. It's kind of like putting the cart before the horse to talk about all this right now, but you could just say you want to have 5 peer-to-peer pages, and you can, again, change this at any time. So it's nothing is set in stone, and nothing is public facing. This is just for your own use. So hit save after you enter all that. And then you will be taken to this page, which is your Giving Day dashboard. And if you have completed everything and you're approved, you can see that little green button up there that says approved. So that means you are good to go for the challenge, and you've submitted everything that you need to, excuse me. So during the registration process, if you have questions about the site or issues with the site, whether it's accessing your password, or you can't get into your profile, or you're having issues with payment, we really encourage you to use the Civicor support option. They, I guess it's Neon One now. It used to be Civicor, sorry. Now it's Neon One. It's the same company. They provide support to us for all nonprofits, for donors, and everybody. So how this works is you'll see the blue help button on the website, and you will just click on that and you will submit your issue to Neon One. And that support will be live during business hours. They are on Mountain Standard Time though. So if it's after hours, it's basically like an email. You'll send them an email and they'll respond the next day. So if you, like I said, if you have issues with using the website, I really encourage you to use that help button, because that will take you directly to Civicor. Otherwise, I'll just be referring you to Civicor or Neon One. If you need help with getting your GuideStar Silver Seal, we encourage you to contact GuideStar. I know pretty much everything about the challenge. I do not know anything about GuideStar Silver Seals. So I've included all the contact info here. There are good resources on GuideStar's site outlining what you need for each level, I guess, of seals. So they go up to like platinum or something. I'm not really sure. there's a lot of good material there for you to look at. So we will check that information to make sure you have a silver seal. Last year was the first year that we made that requirement. And so this year we're really sticking to it, and you have lots of time. You can go ahead and work on that before July 1. I think it's just, providing some financial information. It's really not hard to do. So they provide a lot of good information for you as well. And Barbara Fisher on our staff is more knowledgeable about that. You can find her email address on our website, bgcf.org. She's our Director of Nonprofit Services. You could also ask her for assistance. If a nonprofit does not have its own local GuideStar profile, that means you're like a local arm of a national nonprofit or a clearly defined program under the umbrella of a nonprofit or a place of worship, then we require additional documentation, including 2 years of financial information. So I've included that link to download the form there, and I can send that information out as well. Then you will just return that completed form to Barbara Fisher, who I just mentioned before. There's her email address there. She is our Director of Nonprofit Services, and she's really knowledgeable about all these requirements. So some exciting news and an incentive to get your registration processed early. Again, this year, we are providing, thanks to the Thompson R. Bryant Jr. and Betty R. Bryant Fund at BGCF, we have that $250 matching grant available to the first 100 nonprofits to complete their registration. So what this means, you have submitted your complete profile with logo, mission statement, budget, and all that other information, that you have submitted payment and that payment has been received by BGCF. That means, like, if you're paying online, great, that's instantaneous. If you are mailing in a check, we have to get that check. Then the third requirement is that you have that silver seal of transparency. So the first 100 organizations to do all three of those things will be eligible for that Bryant Fund match. So that means on the first day of the challenge, you will get a 50 cents on the dollar match up to $250. So if you raise $500 on November 30th, you get $250 extra dollars. And that is in addition to our opening day matching grants provided by, I think the Murray Foundation is the one that will have that matching grant. So basically, if you are one of the first 100 organizations to complete your registration and you raise $500 on that first day of the challenge, you basically get half of your registration fee back. A lot of organizations thought about it that way last year, and that was a really nice incentive for them last year. We heard a lot of good appreciative comments of that. So we wanted to provide that again for you this year. So last year, it didn't go that quickly. So you don't have to stress about, getting everything in on July 1, but I wouldn't hesitate. So that's why I'm saying, go ahead and work on that silver seal of transparency, log into your account, and make sure you have everything you need for that. Just some important dates. The registration period will be open July 1 through August 15th. And we do have to close that early because of the print guide. The print guide takes a while to put together. So that profile deadline, we will be communicating with you as your registration comes in, requesting information from you for the print guide. That includes, photos, profile information, contact info, things like that. That deadline is August 31. And that print guide mails out, I think, like a week or two before the challenge. So it's a really good promotion again for your nonprofit. And then the challenge dates are November 30th through December 6th. And I kind of breezed through that. So we have lots of time for Q&A. Let me go to the Q&A section to see if we have any questions. I don't see any. Does anybody have a question? You can raise your hand, I guess, or submit a question about anything that I have gone over. I'll leave that open. Okay, here's a question. So this question says, so the first step is the silver seal. I would say not necessarily, but I guess sort of. You can go ahead and work on getting that silver seal of transparency on GuideStar. You can start doing that today. We will check that after you submit your registration information, beginning on July 1. We will double check that before you can, before we approve your eligibility. So you won't be able to pay your fee or anything until you have that silver seal. So I guess that sort of is the first step. Let's see, there's another question. Somebody received a donation to their parent commission. They want to give it as a GoodGiving challenge donation. Is this allowed? All the gifts during the challenge, they have to come through that bggives.org site. So they have to come in through the website as a credit card or electronic check gift during that week. We don't do early giving during the challenge. Some organizations do. We really don't accept gifts until November 30th at 9 a.m. So they could give a gift during that time, but there's really no way you could. I don't think that you could get an early gift and then designate that during the challenge. Those gifts have to come through the site. Somebody asks, do we still need to fill out a comprehensive form? They said they investigated a couple years ago and it was quite comprehensive. I'm not sure what that's referring to, if that's GuideStar. The only forms for the challenge registration is everything on bggives.org. Once you start logging in, it's pretty much just basic information about your organization, your mission, your budget, things like that. I mean, all that information is actually probably publicly available to, I don't know if that person could, so I will say this is my third year working with the challenge, and since I've been on board at Bluegrass Community Foundation, I am not aware of a form, but if that person wants to send me an email, lauren@bgcf.org, I can look into that in more detail for you. Somebody asked, are we allowed to start advertising for the challenge prior to the challenge starting? Yes. Are we allowed to print flyers and hang them in the community to promote the challenge? Yes, absolutely. We start hyping up the challenge, just on our own social media and, our newsletter and things like that. We start like probably 2 months in advance. I think the earlier the better. And, we will provide some webinars and toolkits and things that sort of outline best practices and different strategies. And we encourage you to, start engaging your donors in the community, yes, well in advance and during the challenge. So people need, I don't know, there's some statistic, there's 7 touches before something sticks with people, with advertising. So we encourage you to start early and often in promoting the challenge. We definitely encourage that. And that can be email, social media, flyers, things like that. Any method that you think is the best way to engage your donors. And, like I said, we promote the challenge generally, and sometimes we will do spotlights on different organizations. We, on Instagram, I think we do, spotlights on every organization. Last year, I know we focused on some of the organizations that had been with us 10 years because that was the 10th anniversary. So we do like to highlight some organizations, but we do encourage you to promote yourself. So we promote the challenge, you promote yourselves, leading up to and during that week. And if you want to, we are, you can find us on social media, Facebook and Instagram. We do some on Twitter, but not a lot. There's a lot of noise on Twitter, but we're at BGCFKY on both of those platforms. So you can kind of look back and see what we did last year and the year before, since I had been on board, to promote the challenge, kind of get an idea of what we do. You can look at those hashtags that we use during the challenge. I think hashtag BG Gives and hashtag GoodGiving Challenge, and you can see what other organizations have posted, see what gets a lot of engagement. And you know, I think we're all friendly here, so I think that's okay to look for ideas. Are there any other questions about registration, how that works? I will provide, like I said, a YouTube, I will post this link on YouTube. This webinar will be up on YouTube. And then as the registration process opens, I will record like a step-by-step. I will go through that registration process and record a video and upload that to YouTube as well. So we like to provide lots of tutorials for you to help with the process. I think that's all the questions that have been submitted. I'll still leave that open just for a second, but I wanted to go ahead and provide contact information for us. So if you wanted to go look at bggives.org, you can. Again, that's all the information from last year. It doesn't include like fundraising totals. The site looks different at different times of the process. During the challenge, you'll see your organization, like how much you've raised, but that's not available there now. And my email is lauren@bgcf.org. If you think of any question that you would like to have answered, we are, I know if you're a new organization, it can be really overwhelming, all the details and information about how this works. So we are happy to answer any questions that you have. On my team is Caitlin Crosby. You might hear from her as we, as you register and, you know, asking for information or information for our social media, things like that. Her email is caitlin@bgcf.org. And then our general email, info@bgcf.org, that's where all of our email communications come from. So you want to make sure that to add us to your contacts, so those don't get stuck in your spam filter. And as I said, on social media, we are BGCFKY on Facebook and Instagram, and you can look at those hashtags from past years, GoodGiving Challenge and BG Gives, to see what other organizations have posted, what we have posted in the past, to kind of get an idea of different ways to promote your organization during the challenge. So you will receive, if you participated in the challenge previously, on July 1, you should get an email notification from bggives.org to let you know that the registration process is open, but we'll also send out an email when we confirm that that's open to notify you that you can get in there. And we are happy to answer any questions at any time. We're here to help you through this process. So again, just feel free to contact us with any questions, and thank you for your time this beautiful morning. And I am happy to get started on the 2021 GoodGiving Challenge. I hope you are too.